The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
On the Eagles Sports Network, I'm Matt Scalzo, joined alongside head tennis coach Nate Gangelhoff. Nate, this week is ITAs. How is this different than any other event during the fall?
Yeah, I mean, with ITAs, it's more kind of individually focused. In a way, it's an individual bracket tournament, kind of like what we see in the pros, so it's more individual based. But, we still travel as a team. We still expect all of our players who are going to have great team energy. Even if they're playing by themselves, we want them to be, known that they're cheering for not just themselves, but for the school, for the program, and also their teammates who will be playing on maybe later that day or something like that. So it is a little bit different environment. You have a lot of players playing individually, but there's still a great sense of team camaraderie.
Is there any extra pressure for these athletes when they go into something like this?
I'm sure there is a little bit. I remember from my time playing, ITAs has a little bit more extra oomph of wanting to perform and wanting to be able to kind of show off in front of your peers because there's so many different players from our region that will be at this event. You definitely feel a little bit of pressure. But for us, it's just another thing on our schedule where we want to perform well where we want to, and we want to make sure that we're making progress where we need to.
4 members of your men's team is making the trip. What has stood out to you throughout the preseason about those 4?
Well, with our guys that are going, I kind of have like my own rule as a coach that our upperclassmen kind of get that first go. They don't have any more opportunities to be able to make this trip, so it's a fun event for them to go to. So that's kind of been my rule where, like, if you've been an upperclassman, you've been with us, then you definitely have earned it. But also from there, when we look at what doubles combinations have worked that we really want to see up against really good competition. So that was, why we wanted to put Darko and Louis together in ITAs. And then with Keegan and Alex kind of being upperclassmen, they've kind of earned that right to go try out at ITAs and see how well they do.
There's a nice balance here of 2 players that are back from last year's team and then 2 transfers in Darko and Alex. How have you seen that process of gelling happen throughout this fall?
It kind of goes back to, how we really emphasize just family environment from the very beginning. So when everybody gets here in August, everyone's kind of new with each other, not really sure how the team meshes, and then that kind of goes away after one day. They kind of immediately kind of embrace each other to, make each other feel like family. They're goofy, they're silly, they're going to be, very, very fun and competitive on the court at the same time, which is cool. So I believe that sports kind of can sometimes bring out the best of us and sometimes the worst in us, but, for us as a camaraderie and chemistry and just, behavior of what we do on the court, it's really cool to see our guys from last year embrace our new guys going into this year and be like, hey, you're part of the program, you're part of the family, so this is what we do.
What's your message to the team heading into this weekend?
Even though it's individually based, we still want all of our players to get better. So we've got 2 practice days before we head out. So we're going to just continue to preach on team mentality and team work ethic, and that's going to continue whether if you're at ITAs or not. I think for going forward, even after ITAs, we want to really harp on how can we get better as a team, how can we get better in our doubles combinations, and can we compete at the highest level. ITAs is just a great example of that because of the players that will be there.
I appreciate the time, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's head tennis coach Nate Gangelhoff. I'm Matt Scalzo. This is the Eagles Sports Network.